gon' tune in cause it's showtime. Go ahead and call the gang up for the one time. Rap, Phoop, Ryun, got them on the line. And my life's still great, I'm doing just fine. Hands up.
But we have to move on. So we're going to head into our entertainment section of the episode. We got a few discussion points, but before we get into that, like I said, we've been gone for a minute. A lot of stuff has happened. So with us being your hub for all things black and nerdy, we have a few announcements just to let you guys know some of the upcoming movies and TV shows that are supposed to be coming out this summer, as well as through 2026. So let's get to the 2024 list. Bad Boys 4 Ride or Die is coming out June 7th, 2024. A Quiet Place Day 1, June 28th, 2024. Terminator Zero, the Terminator animated series coming to Netflix, is dropping August 29th, 2024. Marvel's Agatha All Along, the WandaVision spinoff, is coming out September 18th, 2024. And then Wicked, the movie version of the Broadway play or Broadway musical, is coming out November 27th, 2024. Moving into 2025, we got the announcement that Mortal Kombat 2 is coming out October 24th, 2025. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is coming out December 5th, 2025.
For Mortal Kombat 2, they know that it's a movie, right? And that's like, because it's like now that we got Mortal Kombat 1, that could be confusing.
Correct. Mortal Kombat 2, the movie, coming off the Mortal Kombat movie that came out in like, what was that, 2021, 2022?
It was during around that time, yeah.
It was during the pandemic, like when HBO Max had first came out and they were trying out that model where, hey, the movie comes out in the theaters and then we're also dropping it on the streaming service. Mm-hmm. So that Mortal Kombat 2 is coming out October 24th, 2025. Marvel's Ironheart series is officially set to come out 2025, and Marvel's Daredevil Born Again series is supposed to be coming out March 2025. Now, as far as 2026, we got a news that the Supergirl movie, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, as part of the DCU, is coming out June 26, 2026. So that'll be a year after the Superman movie comes out.
Not bad.
So that's everything that we learned in the past couple weeks. Some of these things we may do mob reviews for. Some of them we may talk about on the episode, just as like a quick little 1-2. So make sure you guys follow us on social media. Make sure you guys keep up with the episodes to know what we're watching and what we're planning to have more deep discussion of. But moving into the discussion portion of our entertainment news, we've gotten trailers for House of the Dragon Season 2, dropping June 16th, 2024. We've gotten the first trailer for Rings of Power Season 2, coming out August 29th, 2024. And of course, the summer anime season has started, so we have to do our anime roundup on Demon Slayer Season 4, My Hero Academia Season 7, Kaiju number 8, and Windbreaker. And if Ryan's watching some more stuff, we can get into that as well. So let's start at the top. House of the Dragon. This was, if you guys remember the mob review that we put out, you know that me and Ryan are big Game of Thrones fans, Targaryen fans. We loved House of the Dragon Season 1, and now Season 2 is coming. We've gotten multiple trailers. The final trailer just dropped like a week or so ago. So how are you feeling about everything that's coming up, Ryan?
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna be real. The trailer looked good. It seems like they're keeping that same energy. It's coming off of I'm forgetting the names because I've been watching too much. Old girl son getting ate up. We all teared up a little bit when he got him and his dragon got ate up by his cousin.
Yeah.
And now we're finna see the results.
Or was it his uncle? Is it his uncle?
Does that count as his cousin or uncle?
I think it's his uncle.
Inbred, his inbred relative. His dad / great uncle or whatever we call these folks in relation to each other.
Look, Damon. Call it like it is.
He's going to get the second biggest dragon or the first biggest dragon in existence at the moment. Mm-hmm. So we finna see the follow up to all of that. Like, I'm just excited, bro. It's finna be action. I'm pretty sure they're going to jump us straight into it. Honestly, I don't even think they're going to do any talking. I'll be surprised if it's just talking.
I think I would agree with you. I think that first episode is like immediately we running. Like I the line was crossed. We talked about this in the mob review. Like the line has been crossed. Like I think all of the talking happened in the later part of season 1, like them trying to keep the peace, like, them trying to negotiate and just like saying like, hey, we don't really want no violence, but the line was crossed.
Mm-hmm.
In that last segment of that episode, the line was crossed. And I'm gonna say it again, like the war crimes are starting. Like we're about to get into it. And what I got from this final trailer is that we have Team Targaryen versus Team Green going head to head with each other. But then it gives you a little bit of insight that there's also going to be some inner team conflict happening as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have Alicent trying to, I don't know, keep the peace or whatever she's trying to do, and everybody's like, nah, we going to war. And then it's this one scene in the trailer where Rhaenyra's asking Daemon, like, do you accept me as your one true king? And they don't show his response. They just zoom in on his face, and the mom was like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Not we having power dynamic conflicts. Like, what's going on?
That's what they're trying to show us. I feel like they're really just trying to get in our head, though. She might be talking to somebody completely different.
I also think they're trying to get into our head, but I can also see, just because of how we know Daemon's character, I don't think he's going to denounce Rhaenyra, but I also think there might be some frustration. He might be frustrated with the way that the situation is being handled. And we know Daemon to be impulsive, and we know like he likes to do things his own way.
Right.
So I feel like there might be some conflict in him being frustrated on the way that the situation is being handled, when really he might just want to go to King's Landing and get down. But it's like, nah, we can't do that.
Because Team Green can't just be like, yeah, fly your big old dragon over there and say it was an accident. You can't do that. It's too late for that. You either we either need to chop your head off and send it to them as a forgiveness gift, or we going to war. That's all they really can do.
Yeah, and they chose war.
There's no other way.
They chose war, and I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see it. And I think everybody's pretty excited that we get to see the Starks and how their placement is inside of the House of the Dragon. I'm ready. I'm ready for it to come back. I was ready for season 2 when season 1 ended.
I'm just ready for peak, bro. Like, after I think they seen the mob review for Shogun, after watching Shogun and really being able to enjoy another historical fiction, fantasy, whatever you want to call it, live action series, I'm like, now I'm really ready for House of the Dragon. My palate has been cleansed. I had a really great appetizer. I'm ready for this year's entree. I'm ready for it.
No, the summer, I'm really excited for the stuff that's coming out this summer. Like, we got the animes, we got House of the Dragon coming back. We already talked about Fairy Tail, that Suicide Squad Isekai is about to come out, the movies that are about to come out. I think this is going to be a really good summer for entertainment.
And I'm going to be real. I know you mentioned it. I am, for the fans, I am still a Rings of Power hater. I'm not the hugest fan of Lord of the Rings. I loved it. I enjoyed it. And I appreciate Tolkien's universe. I don't know all of the lore, but season 1 was terrible. It was absolutely boo-boo garbage, trash, booty, butt cheeks. It was nasty. But the graphics in season 2 just look beautiful. I'm going to give it 1 or 2 episodes to see if the writing got better. But the graphics in that trailer looked outstanding.
I didn't get anything from the trailer, and I think it just goes back to the fact that I was unimpressed with season 1.
Yeah.
I am going to let you have it. And if you come back and tell me, hey, the writing, the storytelling looks like they improved, stuff's making sense, then I might slide at the end of the season and just binge it. But like the season 1 and forcing myself to watch through that every week, I'm not doing that again. Yeah. It was painful. It was painful watching those high, intense, heavy story, character-driven episodes of House of the Dragon on Sunday, and then coming on Friday and watching Rings of Power, and it's just like, I'm ready for Sunday again. I need a pick me up. Where's House of the Dragon?
And there were some people who would be on Beyonce's internet, as you say, saying, "Oh my gosh, Rings of Power is better than House of the Dragon." Where in
What
character development
we must not have been
and
watching the same show.
tell me the way they
My
organize their plot, the way they make a climax resolution, like from the intro to climax resolution in each episode. Where is it better?
and I think House of the Dragon succeeded on a lot of things that you have to give it. One, they succeeded in executing on a show that is prequel to one of the greatest franchises of all
One of the
time,
biggest, yes.
without hammering in that you have to know what happened. Like, the thing about House of the Dragon, that there were people who were watching it that hadn't watched the 8 seasons of Game of Thrones, and you didn't have to.
Didn't have to.
You didn't have to. So that was number one. Number two, they did it was either 2 or 3 time jumps, and they did it in a way that it didn't matter what happened between. Like, the story was fluid enough and it continued enough that these time skips didn't really matter. That we weren't,
And
okay, they skipped, oh, I'm confused on what happened right here. No. It's like, okay, we skipped, and here are the pieces that you need to put together what happened between point A and point B.
And to be honest, time skips like that are a risk, especially when you change the actors and actresses. People get attached. It gives
Mm-hmm.
people something to nitpick about. Yet it was well executed. And even if, let's be honest, House of the Dragon was slightly at a disadvantage. Game of Thrones is one of the biggest franchises. But let's not act like people were still not pissed off with season 8
I would
and a good
agree.
amount of people with 7, to where even fans like us, I think we was recorded saying this, where we're like, we hope it's good. But the way
I
that writing was in season 8, I ain't expecting it to be.
I would agree. From my end, from our end, there was some hesitancy on coming into House of the Dragon just because of the way that they handled the last couple seasons of Game of Thrones. But I definitely think they brought this right here, succeeded on telling y'all, like, hey, there was nothing to worry about.
We here. We got some good writers this time,
We
and we're
got
here.
y'all. Like, so, and just turning around and looking at like Rings of Power, like cinematography, we talked about that, like top tier.
Exquisite.
But I couldn't find myself being attached to the characters. The story just wasn't compelling enough for me. And then the plot twist at the end, like, it just didn't hit. Like, just for that to be you guys, oh shit moment, like it didn't hit. And coming from that and leading into this first trailer where you guys are trying to build up Sauron as this big, like the big bad of this universe, it didn't hit just because of the way you guys did the plot twist going into it. Like, if I feel
Yeah.
like if that reveal, if you guys, if anything, if any writing, if anything had to be built up to be dramatic, had to be the moment of that series, it should have been that. So when we got to season 2, it's like, okay, what's gonna happen now? And I found myself watching this trailer and not caring.
And it was hard to get attached to anybody. Like, it's a sprawling, like Rings of Power is a sprawling epic. You had the little dwarf folks over here. They found this magical being. You kind of get attached to the little girl who was trying to be his friend. You got the folks who over here stuck with the what were they? The goblins digging in a freaking tunnel. Dig a tunnel. Do out there. We got baby girl who's an elf, and I know that she carries over from the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but you hate her not even because she's a character you're supposed to hate. You hate her because it's also like, why is this writing so flat? Where's the character depth?
Yeah.
Why do we don't even want to see her on the screen, but we recognize she should be one of the main characters? And then you got the one elf who had the nice haircut, the fly dude. He's decently interesting, but outside of him, there was nothing for me as a fan, as a watcher, to just cling to when watching season 1.
I hope, like I said, I'm gonna let you have it. You say you're gonna watch the first 2 episodes. Now, if you come to me and you said the first 2 episodes and you can see some significant differences between this and season 1, I'll go back and check it out. If they're
But
putting
if it's
in,
booty butt cheeks,
yeah, If you guys looked at season 1 and all of the feedback and learned nothing and gained nothing from it, I'm not watching it.
Yeah. And it's at a disadvantage because, and I'll give him this. It looks even worse when you're watching it at the same time as House of the Dragon. Now it's not being aired at the same time as House of the Dragon, but even airing after House of the Dragon, in my opinion, it probably would have been better off going first. Get
That's
all the
what
views you can.
That's what and you disagreed with me because I said this on the mob review that Rings of Power was put on a disadvantage at airing at the same time as House of the Dragon, and you didn't agree. You didn't agree with me.
I would say this. It was at an advantage because everybody's craving high fantasy right now, and now we can watch both. The issue is you're not nearly as good. So you're at a disadvantage because now in retrospect we realize you're a horrible series. You should have went first. But the
And
advantage of people going to watch you and they're going to sit down and enjoy you, you're around the same time slot. So now everybody's just going to sit there like we just came off the pandemic. We're cool with being in the house all day and watching TV. They had an advantage in that regard. Now it's like we see that y'all ain't up to par. So it's like you're kind of you're losing yourself. It's like Big Sean dropping his song when Future and them dropped. Like you should have thought ahead, my G.
I just hope they take the feedback and they did something with it. Like, don't try to knock the cinematography out the ballpark because you already did that. We've already established that the cinematography is fine. The costume designing is fine. The two areas that we need you guys to work, the storytelling and the writing, I hope that's what you guys sat down in that writer's room and said, okay, what can we do to fix these two areas?
Mm-hmm. And it's like, I don't know. I wish they would have done good because it's like the fantasy, like I love a good fantasy epic. But right now, we've seen people write good fantasy stories. We've seen the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen House of the Dragon. We've seen Vox Machina.
Mm-hmm.
Even The Witcher. It's not top tier, but it did better than y'all.
Yeah.
We've seen all of these other shows. We just had Shogun, and it's not fantasy. It's more like historical fiction.
You bringing up The Witcher, how do you feel about the fact that they're cutting it off at 5 seasons? Because you remember a long time ago, we talked about The Witcher, and you remember Netflix had a plan for doing 7 seasons, and now it's officially come out that they're going to stop at 5.
Yeah.
Do you feel it's because of what you just said? Like, it's not top tier fantasy. Like, it's cutting the mustard, but it's not cutting the mustard for us to get 7 seasons of it.
I think that plays a part, and also just the drama between the writers and Henry Cavill, especially since anybody who pays a little bit of attention to Henry Cavill, like he's a nerd's nerd. Like he's somebody who, if he came on our podcast to just talk to us, we would have like a good conversation about any and everything, gaming, television, etc. And he's a fan of The Witcher. When I see a proven fan of The Witcher who's playing the main character and they got issues with your writing and that comes out to the public, that's a bad look. And then when fans of the books come out and say, y'all are changing moments from the book, and we understand that there's a good way to do it and a bad way to do it, but ain't none of them even saying y'all did a good job at it, it starts to not be worth the investment. And I don't know what the watch hours are looking like for Netflix. Like Netflix is always going to say their newest series is the most watched series. Most watched don't mean nothing. What about ratings? Is it getting the money that you put in? They don't give us those numbers. So it might just not be worth the investment anymore. And plus, I don't think Henry Cavill's coming back, right? They still got that new actor.
Yeah, it's Liam Hemsworth.
Thor's brother.
Yeah. He's supposed to be the new. I would agree. I think out of the 3 we were talking about, The Witcher, Rings of Power, and House of the Dragon, I think House of the Dragon is, when it comes to adapting from the source material, I think House of the Dragon is doing what it needs to do. I think I don't know. It has to be. So I just found it interesting that whole 7 season plan that they have, and this was just coming off of The Witcher season 2, when they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna go 7 seasons. We can definitely see this going 7 seasons." And then all the stuff came out with Henry Cavill, and then them switching actors and stuff, and then it was like, "Nah, we're just gonna cut it off at 5 seasons."
See, and The Witcher wasn't just bad. it just wasn't amazing at a lot of points. I think the last season we did enjoy it, if I remember correctly.
It was alright to me.
Yeah,
I think we gave it a solid rating.
yeah, like it was pretty alright. But honestly, The Witcher would have done better. Like with that animated movie where it was basically Geralt's mentor.
Hmm.
If The Witcher went that route,
Like,
I think that would
okay,
be their bread and butter. Animation, just the animation was good. They was going for that
isn't
mature vibe that Vox Machina had.
isn't the new movie supposed to be coming out this summer? The new Witcher movie, animated, isn't that
Sirens of the Deep, yeah,
that's coming out this
yeah,
summer?
I believe so. It's in our ideas backlog. I believe so.
So I would
I
agree
feel
if
like they
this
should have
if
stuck that route.
I would say this because I do the movie that came out. I did enjoy the movie better than I enjoyed the last season.
Hmm.
Now, if I enjoy this movie better than I enjoyed the next season, then maybe the formula needs to be let's do these animated movies.
Hmm.
Because I understand the movies. I look at the movies as like this is a holdover for you guys to give you guys some Witcher content before we come back with the live action series.
Right.
And it works because like we watch these movies and it's like hell yeah, can't wait for the next season to come out. But then if the next season's not really giving me anything, then it's kind of like okay, we could have just stuck with the animated movies.
Exactly, and animation is becoming a lot more popular. Like with the rise of anime, cartoons and are doing a lot better in America now. In my opinion, the investment, the risk versus reward is starting to balance out to where I would support Netflix in saying let's invest in more animated films. Let's even consider an animated series for The Witcher, and don't focus on Geralt. We don't got to do Geralt. In fact, I don't want y'all to do Geralt. Let's look at some other Witchers in the universe. Let's go to other Witcher schools like the one of the cat and everything else, and the bear, or is it the boar? Let's go do some other Witcher schools and let's go through there and let's do that. Let's expand.
I
And I feel like
would
they could do great at that.
I think they could, but I it all goes back to money. It all the way, and then what you were talking about before, it goes back to ratings. If even if the animated stuff is top tier, like the best shit we've ever seen come out of the Witcher franchise, if the live action ratings are still outperforming that, they're gonna still lean on that live action content because even though the story might not be great, we didn't get good feedback. Look at how many people watched this in comparison to how many people watched that movie we about to put out in the summer.
Yeah. I just need more people to appreciate animation because it's animation is at its peak right now. Like we're in the
Yeah,
golden age of animation in the West right now. Like
yeah.
truly.
Like X-Men 97. I'm gonna hold that thought because I got something coming for X-Men 97, but golly.
Y'all been talking so much about it. I'm like, man, let me go back and let me go
You
tap
I
into it.
listen, listen. I'm telling you, go watch it. I'm the thing, and I will say this because I plan on doing a mob review for X Men '97, so I don't want to say too much. This X Men '97 movie really, I feel like it really pulls you into what X Men is at its core. Because the biggest thing, the biggest ups I will give to X Men '97 is that they push Wolverine to the background. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but if we look at the live action movies and we look at the fact that this Deadpool versus Wolverine movie is coming out, Wolverine is always at the forefront. He has always been
Hmm.
at the forefront of these X Men movies.
And now they're shining light on
And
other
now they're shining
characters.
light on all of these. And like, if you're coming from the original animated series and the comics, then you already know that this is X-Men at its core. Like it's like this is what we've wanted. But if you're coming from the live action movies, it really gives you that insight that all of these people, all of these other people, they with the shits. And it's not just Wolverine.
Hmm. Okay.
I would
So,
say check it out. Like even because even I have a couple YouTube channels that I follow like Emergency Awesome, and some other YouTube channels that like really break down the episodes, and it shows you all of the influences that they've been pulling from the comics, how it ties back into the original series, where they could go with this, and I appreciate the writer um who gets on Twitter every now and then, and he when the episode's about to come out, he will let you guys know like, hey, you need to be familiar with this comic book story, these episodes before you hop into this. Like, you can look at this and tell that they really took their time with this episode. With this series. With the storytelling wise, the animation wise, the way the characters that they chose, like, I'm ready for season 2.
So I'm assuming the author must be a fan of the X-Men franchise too then, huh? Well, the writer for this series.
Based on how this went, yes. Now I don't know why he got fired. The funniest thing about this is him getting fired, and every episode they watch, they'd be like, Disney hired this guy back, and I was like, y'all, hold on, because what did they fire this man for? Let's find out what they fired him for, and then we could talk about putting him back on the show.
I mean, here's my thing though. I feel like that's one of the golden formulas though. Maybe I'm not in the TV industry and I can't be talking outside of my neck, but if someone is truly a fan of what they're writing about, I think that is a really good success pattern when trying to get a good series or a great movie coming releasing. Like, get a writer, get a director who not only just wants to make the money, they're doing this job because they love it. I feel like you and me, we may not be like the best writers, but if you put us on a Harry Potter project, at the very least, fans are going to appreciate what we put in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we're fans ourselves.
And I'm not saying he doesn't care about the franchise. What I was saying is that we don't even know what the man got fired for.
She said, for all this new stuff coming out with folks like Diddy and them, maybe
let's find out what he did first before we say, hey, Marvel, hey, Disney, hire him back. Now it's clear, like I just said, it's very clear that he cared about the series and he cared about the source material from where he was adapting these episodes. But let's slow our roll. Let's find out what he did first before we put him. Wait a minute. But we put him back in the studio.
Because we see some stuff he done did some weird with his coworkers. Now we sitting here like, nah.
It's giving free JJ. What JJ do? Oh, he just killed a couple people. No. Keep JJ in there. Keep JJ in there.
Yeah. Or at the very least, let him work remote. Make him work remote. Don't bring him around to coworkers, because if they put out some good stuff, just hey.
Well, they said for season 2, because it seemed like he also worked on season 2, that they're keeping his plan for season 2, and then when season 3 comes around, they're gonna get a new writer.
But has he been the one? So just checking, he was the one that's been making the tweets before each episode, right? Or was it someone else?
It was him.
I would be interested. That's what I'm saying. I would be interested to see why they fired him then.
Yeah, that's what everybody's waiting for. Like, everybody's like, bro, what did you do? Because these episodes have been amazing, and the way that he's so in tune with like the source material to the point where he's telling you guys what to do your homework on before watching these next episodes. Everybody's like, bro, what did you do?
My only thing is also with that, I don't know, because it's like he's probably under NDA. So
that's also true.
That's probably the biggest reason for why he can't talk about it. So even if the company comes out, because we've seen this, like Henry Cavill in The Witcher, if the company comes out and say something, it's not like we can just take their word.
They didn't say what they fired him for. They just said they took him off the project. They fired him. They didn't say what for or nothing.
It was probably, man, that NDA, he probably made sure, like, hey, if I can't say nothing, y'all can't say nothing about me.
So I don't know what he did. I don't know. It's like, what did you do?
Who'd you get in an argument with?
This got a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. This is one of the top most watched projects. I don't know if it's Marvel period as far as Disney Plus. It may be, but I know it's like from the recent Marvel stuff that they have put out. This is in the top 3.
What if you saying Disney Plus, is it on Hulu?
Probably not.
I
think you have to get. Because they're doing the bundle thing, and I don't know how this new bundle thing works with Hulu being integrated inside of Disney Plus now, but you can still have Hulu on the side. So I because we know business, I 100% believe that it's Hulu inside of Disney Plus and not Disney Plus inside of Hulu. Like, if you want
until they merge them all.
Like, if you want Disney Plus, you're gonna have to get Disney Plus. You can't buy Hulu and be like, oh, I'm gonna have Disney Plus. No, it's this way, not that way.
Exactly.
So I'm positive. I am 100% sure that you are not going to be able to hop on Hulu and watch X-Men 97. You're gonna have to get that Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm. Ado, I'm excited for this anime roundup because
I was just about to get into it. I'm ready for the situation. I want the situation to get real again. I think a lot of the reason of why everybody was a little bit like not so harsh on him, because like you just found out that this guy and his family is working